The West, the Western West, the Christian, Judeo-Christian West is very keen on the possibility of, has a conviction of the perfect person, and the way to this perfection, the striving for this perfection that one shall never reach, is through belief. Or in a sense, to get close enough to the hem of the garment of perfection for cover of our otherwise base and devilish nature. God is perfect, and a relationship to God, a family relationship in the Jesus invention, or relationship through study of God-inspired human texts, gets us closer to perfection. Admitting we are original sinners and that we can cleanse ourselves, transform ourselves by faith and good deeds, etc., is in the DNA of these belief systems. The purer person is an archetype, but not a real one. It is an invented one, and in some circles it will be thought the highest of human achievements to pretend to be this imagined, fantasized person. This will win you the Academy Award for Best Actor in heaven. It is the claim, for instance, every Republican and Democrat candidate makes. I am goodness. Then comes Biden. The devil had been defeated, and on a white horse he rode into town, frail and gentle therefore, the ancient after the adolescent bully, and he continued to fund a genocide. As a devout Catholic, this is not new. Of course, a strand here, almost extremely necessary, a core of this imagining is that there will be a hierarchy. There is Jesus, any of the expected messiahs or prophets who have arrived or not yet, who remain due. Then there will be their announcers, those who tell the rest of us to wait and to prepare. Something as big is coming, a promised perfection, a paradise, a heaven, indescribably better than this. And there will be our people closer to this or her perfect nature, naturally. An Armenian archbishop got very angry with me for suggesting that people might find their own Jesus self. Jesus was to be maintained as unique. No one else will ever be like him. The nature of faith. The various reactions to any attempt, any temptation of Christ to humanize the man, the Jesus, the demigod, or to elevate any other human to this perfect level invites horrible death sentences. Throughout history, humans wrapped by this imagining have developed an idea of impunity for committing these death sentences, carrying them out. Continents have been overwhelmed and ethnically cleansed with this justification. As long as they can assure themselves and those outside their groups that they do these deeds guided by God, inspired by righteousness, they are unblameable. Netanyahu chided Biden soon after October the 7th, not to condemn Israel for what the US had done, and had spent the time since the deed justifying to themselves and those outside the group, believers in America and its almost religion were suddenly hoist to love this myth of themselves. They must love Israel, and they do. Israel. It is this shared vision of the perfect that allowed American liberaldom to condemn apartheid in South Africa, but love and arm it in Israel. The Afrikaner story was one the West could purge from its records. Oh, they're far away. The Europeans know they are not perfect. The secret is finally out. Freeing Mandela was a song they could sing loudly in stadiums. This cause was just, though the implied lesson was never learnt. For this same guilt-ridden race, something must remain pure. There must be some original, some noble savage who resisted Rome. Not an infant, not an innocent infant, because infants are all disgusting to them. The real ancestor of the West is Rome. Some martyr in that Colosseum, some innocent perfect, and out of our bones we chose Israel to wear this mantle, the great victim of Rome, etc. I had a quick back and forth with some Jewish people I was introduced to by friends who said simply, when I asked about the apartheid in Israel, Jews don't do that. They're not lying, they believe it. They will show me texts and recite pieces that say, for instance, thou shalt not kill, as evidence they don't kill. And I suppose, do I? That is a good belief. I think it might mean that when you see a person who signals beliefs you share, the faith in that glowing perfect core, you trust them. You go, hail fellow, well met. Noam Chomsky, to drop a name anyone can research, will say these invasions were done for gold and oil. I think this avoids the imperatives that drive so much of the human condition, the religions, or these types of religions instill in us and demand of us. We want heroes, exemplars, and Western history is littered with wannabe perfect persons and deniers of that perfection. The only way to heaven is through me. John 14:6. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. A little big-headed, that chap. AI says a core belief in Christianity that emphasizes faith in him for salvation. So this is the way or the road of our belief system, and it seems to touch something universal. Seems, madam, nay it is, but it isn't. It is appealing, aspirational, a consensus aspiration in any room. Few would argue with you, saying, I want to be the best I can be. I want people to remember me as a good person. It works as a thing if one believes in goodness as a goal one wasn't born with. And it's hard to find any evidence this type of existence has produced much goodness, revealed much goodness at all. In history, as we blunder along, falling off and climbing back on this wagon of faith, this kind of aspiration will keep us on a steady course. The notions of achieving wholeness or connection to perfection effortfully through study and deeds is our civilization's very essence. We all become Dantes, climbing mountains and descending into chasms, striving and questing to get beyond this dim, vast veil of tears. As I wrote that, I thought, it's Keats. It isn't. It is Shelley again. Hymn to Intellectual Beauty. I'm fascinated the influence these boys have on me that I'm rediscovering. Ode to a Nightingale is a kind of blasphemy, really, that I might drink and leave this world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest's dim, fade away, dissolve, and quite forget what thou amongst the leaves hast never known. It's glorious. He wants to be a bird. He aspires to be a bird. That's his perfection, an unconscious thing. We think he wants off the wagon. That has been my way, I think, off the wagon, sinking into flowers at any feet and smelling soft incense that hangs upon the boughs, sinking into nature. Anyway, out there is still this. I am not a perfectionist. The beauty of the unjudged world is indescribable to me, and all around, always. The noise she makes, the smells and tastes are wholly enough for me. The poetry I might make under her various influences are my records of encounters with this holiness. In this endeavor or life I do no harm. I might understand the marine's instinct to kill a possibility. I do not do no harm as a virtue. I don't show it off. The desire or need has no grip on me to kill. It was replaced. It was expelled a long time ago, if it ever really existed, ever really gripped me. The Hollywood reality was a stage, I guess. I really cannot remember in me what is second nature in those around me.